Hey all and welcome back to the finale of Ocarina of Time 3D. It's taken us over 7 years in terms of game time to reach this point, and what do we find when we get here? It turns out that Ganondorf has turned into a bit of a recluse who just loves to play his organ all day. Oh, and kidnap princesses, I guess, so nothing's really changed there.
Also, this scene becomes a lot more epic when you realize that this is actually a gathering of the three pieces of the Triforce. The piece of power held by Ganon, the piece of wisdom held by Zelda, and of course the piece of courage that we just recently discovered is inside Link.
And the piece of double health which is carried by Navi. That's like the middle of the Triforce with the bit missing.
Oh god, please don't bring up the Quad Force. I'm so sick of that fan theory.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, a lot of people believe that there is a missing fourth piece of the Triforce.
Okay, I guess. Also, Jesus Christ, he became a ton more demonic in this remake.
It looks like he became part lizard.
Link is affecting my lock-on properties!
Oh no, this is how we're going to explain making the gameplay mechanics different. Also, goodbye, organ. Here's the first stage of the final boss fight, because you can't have a video game when the final boss doesn't have multiple stages.
This old trick again. I thought we saw the last of this with Phantom Ganon in the Forest Temple.
Well, you were wrong. That was actually training for the true fight against Ganondorf. He's gonna charge up his light magic, you gotta bounce it back with your sword, or if you're clever, your bottle. Then once he's been hit by his own magic, you need to use your light arrows. That will stun him and will let you lock onto him. Use your hookshot to bring you over, or jump over, and then slash him a bunch until you have to do the cycle all over again.
And that is every single strat available for this boss. I hope you enjoy. It's been a while, folks, but we cover all of our bases here at HFC. Now, this whole Dead Man's Volley thing is one of the most persistent gameplay styles I've ever seen in a franchise. I mean, it persists to this day, really.
Oh yeah, even in the new ones, Link Between Worlds has a Dead Man Volley fight as well.
Well, that makes sense, because the game it was inspired by, Link to the Past had it.
Yeah, which had the original Dead Man's Volley against Ganon.
Okay, now, realistically, this guy wields the Triforce of Power. Why would he ever get tired or, become witless enough to let Link strike him with his own magic?
I have no idea. We gotta make this fair for the hero. Green blood! Green blood, guys! That was originally red, but damn Nintendo and their censoring of blood in my video games.
What, is he fucking exploding?
Yeah, he is releasing all of his inhibitors. He's going Super Saiyan! I like how you actually beat him so fast that he didn't even get to use his charge-up attack. I had commentary prepared for that, Tom.
Well, I wasn't the one recording these final few parts, so you get to blame someone else, my friend. Okay, I'm pretty sure we weren't slashing at his cape, but I guess blowing up your castle ruins your duds.
The clothes are actually what ties to the castle. This cutscene, right here, we're going to do a callback to episode 1. Remember how I said you could warp from the Deku Tree to this tower? You actually warp to this cutscene. This is why you're able to skip the light arrows and are able to skip, well, let's be honest, 98% of the game.
No, Metroid?
Not that big of a Metroid fan.
Well, that's awkward. Moving on.
Save that reference for someone who cares.
Oh, you mean like the gaming Brit? Here I am, guys. I'm the secret guest co-commentator. Ha 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 ha.
You were promised one, there you go.
But seriously, this is one of the most iconic climaxes I've ever played through in a video game. I mean, it's just perfect.
It is. It really shows off the graphics of the N64, so much so that this section of the game naturally lags. Even on the Virtual Console, the version that removes lag, the escape sequence will always lag. It's crazy.
To be fair, our heroes have the powers of wisdom and courage. Ganon's the one with all the power right now.
That included graphical power, of course.
Bitch, I'm utilizing the power of a GameCube. You'll never defeat me.
There actually are a lot of lag reduction strats that have been created for this very situation. One of them is that when Zelda uses her pink magic to open a door, there's a way that you can limit the lag there by firing off a light arrow, because the game will only really do one particle effect or one flash effect, and if you send out the light arrows, those lag less than Zelda's pink magic.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, but it's probably different in this case, especially since they added some weird, like, spiral of triangles whenever she does that spell.
Oh no, arbitrary fire shield. Stealthos that we can easily dispatch.
Well, we gotta run out the time, Tom, let's face it. This wasn't the longest of all dungeons. But you want to be careful, though, in that just because you killed one of the Stealthos doesn't mean he's actually dead. Well, they're skeletons, but if you take too long to kill the second one, the first one will regenerate, and that's just gonna waste even more time. That's also one of the few instances within the Zelda franchise where actual affection creates hearts, or even heart pieces. The only other example is when the Yeti couple is reunited.
Yeah, well, implications and all that, I guess.
Well, yeah. It's sort of like, hey, you know those heart pieces and all the little heart containers? They're not just in Link's head, they actually exist, which makes the game even more creepy. This escape sequence is also really funny when you're doing it as young Link, because you cannot let one of the falling boulders hit you, because it will burn up your shield and it will cause your game to crash and freeze.
Can't you just switch to the Hylian shield?
No, you've never even gotten to the point where you can get a Hylian shield. All you have is the Deku shield. And it's mostly due to the fact that the game is like, oh, you're in Ganon's tower. Oh, we're supposed to burn the Deku shield? How? Deku shield, Ganon's tower, how? Crash. Which you would think it would have crashed sooner when it warped you clear to the end of the game, but nope. That worked just fine.
Yeah, a bit slow to detect a time paradox there, Nintendo.
There's a really cool way where you can position yourself in front of the gate to where Zelda will actually walk up to you, not push you aside, and they share a romantic kiss.
Aww.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, it's a shame we're not playing the original version of this, because when the tower collapses in the N64 version, it kinda looks like Legos.
I should go build a Ganon's Tower replica out of my Legos, record it, and just put it on here for the playthrough.
Or if not Legos, like cardboard folding in on itself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 3D models on the N64. Not the best thing when you want to actually destroy them or disintegrate them. They sort of work best when they're put together. Again, I need to bring up lag because it's actually really integral to this whole sequence, in that with this scene, when it doesn't have lag, such as when you play this on the IQ, the Chinese version of the N64, the audio desyncs. I don't understand why, but the audio is actually timed with the lag.
Well, I guess we won't have to worry about finding a space to build the new Hyrule Castle. Just build it on top of the ruins of this dark, destroyed place.
New Hyrule? Are we going to include trains?
Yes, Mexi, all of the trains.
Hooray!
Whoa, step back, Z-Girl. I heard rumblings. Evil rumblings.
Those are the worst kind of rumblings.
Oh, a ring of fire. I wonder who could have cast this.
Impa?
Yes, it is me, Impa, Lord of Darkness.
Best plot twist ever.
And then he uses the Triforce of Power to turn into Pig Impa. Oh god, I'll take 10.
It's a lot more intimidating than what he turns into in this game, which is more of a Jamaican bear pig.
It's the dreads, isn't it? Now, I never really got what his weapons are meant to be. They kind of remind me of the tridents from the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, in all previous iterations of Ganon, and even in Link's Awakening, Ganon has a trident spear, so I guess to do a callback, they have a tri-point sword.
It's really intimidating in the N64 version, because the arena is a lot darker than what you see here. So it's really just his eyes staring at you out of the darkness, and it's really intimidating.
Sometimes when you stare at the abyss stares back at you with a pair of pig demon eyes.
So how do you take on Ganon, mate? How do you finish off Ocarina of Time?
Well, if you're not MBM tier, you've lost your Master Sword, and now you gotta use your light arrows to stun him, so that you can walk around him, then either using the big Goron Sword or the Megaton Hammer, you hit his shiny disco tail.
That is a shiny disco tail. Sorry, I was just taking a moment to take it all in.
They made it way more glowy. In the original, it kind of seemed like he just had a shiny gem at the end, but in this version, I guess kids had a very difficult time figuring out the weakness, so they had to make it really noticeable.
Come on, Zelda, help us out.
No, she's just gonna tell us where our sword is, even though we had a cutscene to tell us to do that. And now we got the Master Sword, and now we can begin the proest of strats to finish off Ganondorf. Wait, what are you doing? What? No! What? No, don't put the big Goron sword on! What the hell?
There's a specific reason you don't care for this sword that took us an entire part to acquire?
Yes, I do, Tom. Ganon has a weird modified damage range, in the fact that all weapons that you use against him, their damage is reduced to 1, except for 2 items. The Master Sword for story reasons, and the Deku Sticks, because, Nintendo didn't really think ahead and figured nerds will never honestly get to this fight as childling, so why modify the damage? So yes, Ganon is weak to the Master Sword and Deku Sticks.
If it wasn't for the Ring of Fire and the fact that the Deku Tree doesn't have legs, I think the Kokiri could rise up and take down Ganon by themselves.
Hell, imagine if the tree could just unroot himself, just walk over and smack Ganon with his mighty branches.
It's like, hey, cut it out. Well, at least he's doing jump slashes. There's your pro strats.
Yeah, I'll take it. He's also remaining very agile, only rolling through his legs. Seriously, you don't even have to stun him with the light arrows, which I never really did as a kid. I didn't want to waste the magic, even though it's the final fight, so why be stingy?
Alright, Zelda, can you help us out now? Thank you.
That's just a stun lock. Seriously? You're the leader of the sages, you were a super cool ninja guy, and that's the best you got?
Frankly, I'm disappointed.
I know, and she couldn't even maintain it for the whole time.
Okay, let's finish this. We're done here!
Let's go! Hey, we're going home! We're done! It's over!
I can finally see my kids again!
I can see my family! I can get out of this eternal Skype call! She's charging the spirit bomb!
It's like Hyrule's beyond salvation at this point. Let's just team up with the sages and blow it to Kingdom Come.
Ancient creators of Hyrule, it's morphin' time!
Light, fire, water, spirit, shadow, dragon sword! Okay guys, let's do it! We need split timeline power now!
And then the sages created a wormhole that ate the fabric of reality and killed everyone. Way to go.
They didn't just split the timeline, they utterly destroyed it. Oh god, this scene. If there's one thing I took away from the ending of Ocarina of Time, it's this goofy imagery of Ganondorf that has stayed with me to this day.
He also added a bunch of ellipses so that if you put in your head, you can almost make Ganondorf sound like William Shatner.
Someday, when this seal is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants.
And their descendants, until Nintendo decides to realize that, maybe having a continuity in this game wasn't the greatest thing ever.
Even the one with the fucking trains! Bye!
He's not even in that one!
Well, we've come to the end of Ocarina of Time, Mexi, and even though we've got a little bit of, time before the credits roll, what do you think about this game and the remake?
I played this game faster than all of you. But no, let's be honest here. Ocarina of Time is often cited as the greatest game of all time, and there's a good reason for that. You may not agree with it, but There are a lot of great things that this game has. I mean, it took a well-made 2D adventure series and put it into 3D very, very well. Sure, it has memory issues. Sure, you can manipulate everything within the game and break it wide open. But if you casually play this, it is such a great experience with great music. Not the greatest characters, but characters that do their jobs very well. And honestly, it has a very special place in my heart, and I'm glad it was my introduction to Legend of Zelda.
I agree, yeah. Now, I've stated time and time again that Majora is my favourite Zelda game, but what would Majora be without its predecessor, Ocarina of Time? It laid the groundwork for Majora to become the great game that it is, and Ocarina is still great to this day. It's got good dungeons, the remake looks and plays fantastically, so shout outs to Grezzo in that regard. The story is kind of simplistic, but it works for what it is, and overall, it's still a great game, and that's why it gets praised the way it does.
My only issue would be, if you're gonna fix glitches, actually fix them. Don't half-ass it, otherwise I'll be here doing commentary over it.
Until the end of time itself.
Or until the 3 timeline split.
Let's not go there, Mexi. But where we will be going now is home, because this is the end of the Ocarina of Time 3D playthrough. So I just want to thank you, Mexi, for all your great commentary work. Thank you to Mega Man NG for recording the end of the playthrough. And thank you all for sticking with us and supporting us. Thank you, and goodbye.
See you later.
Okay, Tom, I played up to the fire temple. Let's get this recording done.
Um, I, I don't know how to break this to you, Axel, but we're kind of done here, mate.
What? What?
That was 5 years ago, you crazy son of a gun.
But I learned a bunch of speedrunning tricks.
Well, you see, the thing about that is, I kind of got a speedrunner to take over for you for the remake.
I'm going back to speedrunning Cage 2. Where the fuck is my sombrero and blindfold?